Good day, happy travelers. I'm fresh back from my very first time using the Long Beach Cruise Terminal, and the purpose of this video is to give you tips, tricks, lessons learned, things I would do the same next time, and things that I would do differently. And let's a lot to talk about, so let's hop into it. So there were competing priorities, and I wouldn't necessarily say that any one of them was more important than the other. I flew from Atlanta to Los Angeles. Priority one was how to get to the cruise terminal as effectively and cheaply as possible. So there's three things to consider in terms of the cost. One, the airport to choose. Two, the hotel to choose. And three, the arrangements of getting from the airport to the hotel to the cruise terminal. So those were the competing priorities. Logistically, among the three airports that service Long Beach Airport being one of them, LAX way up here, and John Wayne, or the SNA, Orange County Airport by Disneyland, those are the three closest to it. But logistically, in terms of transferring from the hotel around that airport to the cruise terminal, it's worth noting that 90% of the drive is void of traffic on a Saturday or a Sunday. We'll use the term void of traffic loosely. There can always be traffic, but as opposed to a Monday through Friday drive, I wasn't too concerned about staying at any three of the airports for traffic congestion. So that's worth noting. Now, if I stayed in Long Beach, much closer to the cruise terminal, as a matter of fact, we'll zoom into that right here. Very close to the cruise terminal, I struggled to find a reputable hotel that offered a free shuttle. I was looking primarily for Hiltons and Marriotts. I try not to deviate too far from that. So it was closer, but that meant I would have had to have used an Uber, and every time I mocked an Uber or a Lyft, it was going to be about $30 to $40 based on when we were getting in. So I always recommend mocking it out, just seeing what's available. So all right, so $30 to $40, and the hotels down in Long Beach were about $280 to $350 a night, and up. Money is nicer hotel can go up, but just for the Hilton and the Marriotts I was looking at, that's kind of where we were. If I was staying at Disneyland before the trip, I might have flown into John Wayne, but I wasn't. And more importantly for me, flying to SNA, it was not cheaper. As a matter of fact, it was more expensive. John Wayne was about $50 per person more expensive pretty much any way I did it. So while I'm familiar with the area, would have loved to have done it. Again, couldn't swing it. Furthermore, shuttles, just free shuttles, weren't widely available. However, LAX, while certainly the furthest away, I would be transparent, my drive was about 30 minutes from the LAX area down. There was actually a lot of good hotels, and most of them offered free shuttles from the airport. So that's $40 saved. And it was cheaper to fly from Atlanta to LAX and a lot more options. So we were looking pretty good. And the hotel, I was stayed at a Westin at the LAX for $172, including all the fees, taxes, etc. So it was cheaper to stay at LAX. It was cheaper to transfer. And in terms of the same day, like transferring to the cruise terminal, the Uber, the Lyft, it was marginally, and I mean like $20 more expensive to transfer. I think there's just a base rate. So for me, it cost $70 to get from LAX down to Long Beach. It was going to cost me about $40 to $50 from Orange County and the Long Beach hotels area. So that's all worth noting. So anyway, as you do your research, those are really the three things to compare. Kind of create a chart, compare the flight, compare the hotel, and try to get an estimate of the transfers. Do mock bookings at the time that you're going to do your transfer, and you'll get an idea of the cost. And actually, sometimes if you on the day of the booking, if you back out, you might get a coupon for 5 to 10% off. That will be systematically applied. All right, so that's kind of the lay of the land in terms of those 3 points, and I felt pretty good about what I did. And again, here's the 176 free hotel shuttle, and kind of comparing that to each other. Now, once you get to Long Beach, so this is the lay of the land here. Once you get in here, where was my pinch points? So it turns out that there was a festival going on at the Queen Mary. So again, if I zoom out here, the drive from LAX, and LAX is up here, here it is, LAX, smooth all the way down 405 down to the 710. So good, so fantastic, just a great day. We transferred in on a Saturday, great day for a drive. But once we got here, there was a line of traffic, and evidently this is unusual and only happens if the Queen Mary is having a festival. So something to do next time is the cruise terminal having an event that you're going to. Take a look at that. Plan accordingly. Let me say this. I had a 10:30 a.m. boarding time, factor in traffic time and everything. We left to catch the front end of that 10:30 boarding time. We did not actually get on the ship until 1:10 p.m. So that's how much traffic there was. Because once they shut down this artery, they don't really open up anything else. Getting on the cruise ship is not a priority to the port. It's just what you have is what you have, and if you have less, then you have less. Now, if there isn't an event, traffic can be alleviated because a lot of people know, I didn't until it was told to me, that you can actually park at the Queen Mary or get dropped off here. Actually, furthermore, this is a hotel. You can actually stay here. That would be something that I would consider doing differently next time. It just wasn't available for the night that we wanted. So if you normally go to this cruise terminal, this parking area right here is where you can park. More importantly, this parking area here is where you get dropped off. In here, you drop the porters for your luggage. You drop those off, the porters take your luggage, and then you walk out, you walk around, and you end up in this dome for your check-in. If you go over here and get dropped off here, or you spend the night here, all you got to do, you can't just walk into the dome, you have your luggage. You just got to walk a little bit to the porters, drop those off, tip the porters, of course, tip the porters, always. You got to be nice to the porters, they work very hard. And then you go into the dome. So in terms of getting onto the cruise ship, that's one of the first things I would do differently. Consider staying down there or leaving even earlier to avoid the traffic. And logistically, getting off the boat, we learned our lesson, and there was no festival going on. If we walked out and went to this parking lot, I picked up an Uber, and the Uber said, "Hey, smart that you did that. Good on you. I was way back here when you changed your pickup point." And so that allowed me to go into this parking lot here to pick you up. So that's good to know. And those are the tips and tricks. The big one here is, if available, consider the Queen Mary as a drop-off and or a pickup point, and you leverage the Queen Mary as your pre-night kind of place of stay, if that is an option for you. Because what's easier than your day of boarding? Oh, hey, look, it's 10:30 a.m. It's time for us to get on the cruise ship. Well, I guess I'll just walk off and then, go drop my luggage off and hop on this ship. It doesn't get too much easier than that. I can't imagine. So anyway, if you have any other questions, let me know. Otherwise, I hope you travel safe.